say that all nations need some such conception and ideal. If they do not have it, or if it becomes obscure and obsolete, then that nation is in danger. Our own Indonesian history shows that clearly, and so indeed does the history of the whole world. We call this something Pancasila. Pancasila, or the 5 pillars of our state.
Sukarno had been well known for his great ideas. It covered from the anti-kolonialism, nationalism, to internationalism perspective. Sukarno came up with the ideas ever since he was a youngster. It was triggered at host Cokro Aminoto's house, as it was his dorm's house. From the books of the great philosophers, from his experiences as the political prisoner and political figure, as well as from his position as the president.
Proklamasi.
Sukarno's great perspective on anti-kolonialism, nationalism, and internationalism was relevant to be introduced to the world at the time. On September 30, 1960, Sukarno received an invitation to address his political views at the 15th General Assembly meeting of the United Nations. Sukarno grabbed this opportunity to spread his great perspective to build the world to be more fair and just. And he addressed Pancasila, the 5 basic principles, to be the UN Charter, in his speech titled, "To Build the World Anew." The speech was highly phenomenal and courageous, knowing the fact that it was addressed by the newly independent country. It proposed the ideology of confronting the conflict between the Eastern and Western blocs. In his speech, Sukarno urged to solve the conflict by highly respecting the solidarity between the nations. Sukarno's perspective in the speech were recorded in Sukarno's speech document, "To Build the World Anew." The archives consist of 28 sheets of textual archives, 2 photos, 1 audio recording cassette, and 5 rolls of films being preserved at the Depot G and F of National Archives of the Republic of Indonesia. In the archives, there are 6 descriptions of Sukarno's perspective. Each of them records the world's significance, namely, first, nationalism. It emphasized that the state's sovereignty and nationalism is a vision that should not be constrained by anyone. Second, the equality of sovereignty and human rights, which underlines the solution of solving the conflicts without any violence. The equality of sovereignty for all nations, which emphasize on the human rights. Third, anti-colonialism and imperialism. It claims that colonialism and imperialism should be dismissed in order to create a just and peaceful world. Fourth, restructuring the organization of the UN. The restructuration of the organization is to create the UN to be more fair and to give more chance to the newly independent countries to involve in reducing the world tension. Fifth, world peace. through the UN resolutions that represent the involvement of Ghana, Yugoslavia, India, and United Emirates Arab that specifically call out the USA and Soviet Union to reconcile and compromise politically to each other as a solution to the world peace. 6. Alternative ideology. It proposed the spirit recorded in the 5 principles and ideology of Pancasila, which Sukarno asserted that they held the universal and international values. In his speech, Sukarno confidently explained one by one the meaning and interpretation of Pancasila, and he proudly stated for the first time that he offered Pancasila as the alternative ideology to be inserted in the UN Charter, and it should be put as the foundation for the organization of the UN. The archives preserve essential historical values. The contents give information on the efforts of creating the world peace. At the same time, the international world becomes more aware on the values of Pancasila. The speech stunned the prominent figures in the world. Most of them were the leaders from the newly independent nations in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. These nations gained their freedom from the decolonization process. Pancasila was set from scattered heritage in the archipelago. Pancasila penetrated the hearts of the prominent figures in the world.
We seek to build a better world.
Therefore, we nominate Sukarno's speech to be the world documentary heritage for their essential roles as the source of information on the perspectives and ideas coming from the national figure. Texts of Sukarno's speech preserve significant history of the world for the present and future generations.